Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So for today I decided to build a cottage but with like a modern touch in a sense. I love building cottages in this game, but I really don't always like them being so rustic. I like the rustic, don't get me wrong. But I wanted to build something that had more of a modern touch to it, but still keeping the idea of a cottage. So let's jump into the build and I'll show you what I did. So I started off inside on 13 Nettle Lane. It's inside of the Cottage Living pack, if you guys have ever played in it, inside of Henford on Bagley. Now this lot that I'm building it on used to be a vacation rental lot. I did have an issue with this lot when I first started to build on it, mainly just because it looked identical. So I guess that's not an issue with the lot more as it's an issue with me. But it looked very similar to what the vacation rental that was there, and I liked the way that vacation rental looked, so I just kind of like low key copied it in a sense, but improved it in my opinion. I don't know if this one was made by somebody outside of the EA realm, but it was really good. I really liked the way it was built, and I just wanted to add a couple things to it and use some packs in it. That was literally it. I used Greenhouse, Haven, I used Book Nook, and I used Cottage Living, and those were the only ones that I remember. Um, so as long as you got those, everything's there. I love the way that the cottage living stuff looks. I've always loved cottage living from the time that it came out, even currently. I just sometimes go away from it and then I come back to the pack and I realize how much I enjoyed it. I love that pack. I always have. I probably always will, but I decided to build with it today. So the house that was here before, it had these big windows in the front, which is where a living room was, and I kind of copied that inspiration. However, on this side, I don't think there was anything there. I don't remember, but I can tell you that I wanted a greenhouse. I like to have greenhouses in my builds as well as like a little library or like a book nook section. So I decided to like kind of build it in. I always build greenhouses like separate from the actual build. And today I wanted to build it incorporated within the house with the greenhouse haven windows. I think those windows are great. I love those windows. But especially all the swatches you get in them, you can do a lot with those windows. I like these ones though because I wanted a greenhouse and I feel like they're obviously the best choice for a greenhouse. And I thought about putting them on the front where those other three like big double paned or quadruple paned windows are, but it would have looked they weren't wide enough if that makes sense. They only have like single pane window or like single column whatever it's called windows, and that kind of threw a wrench in it cuz I could have and it would have probably looked okay, but it looked too busy in my mind. So I just decided not to do it. I was gonna go back through and redo all the lighting in my build in this build specifically, but in a lot of my builds, I don't always like using just the dome light. I wanted some moodier lighting in here, and it just wasn't happening. I just didn't do it. Like I know that there's ways to do it, but when you see the way that I constructed everything, I don't even know where I would put a lamp that would like help with lighting. So it's whatever. I also messed with platforms in this a tiny bit, and by that I just mean I use the little arrows to like increase and decrease like the floor rooms or like the rooms. Yeah, the floor in the rooms. That's what I meant. So that's kind of what I did here. I mean, in the other one, in the original build that's on this lot, they also did the same thing. And I really liked the idea. So I just kind of copied it. Granted, mine has like less going on than I think theirs did. And they also had this really cool thing where I didn't replicate it exactly, but like they have a wall that is like that you can walk through that goes into the kitchen, into this like little area here where the stairs go down and then like out the back there and also into the other room. So I decided to make this a kitchen. I think it's a kitchen in the original. Oh, I forgot. I totally used the Home Chef Hustle pack for the entire kitchen. I love that pack too. That one's great for kitchen stuff. I love building kitchens in The Sims. It's one of my favorite things. So I loved it. I love that pack. I did use it. Also, the swatches are great. They all match. I was gonna do instead of like that half counter right there, the little end one. I was just gonna leave them where they extended out extra with a normal counter, but I feel like it needed more like flair. I couldn't figure out where to put this, like the stove or the fridge. I don't know why I couldn't figure it out, but like when I was building the little counter right there, I just wasn't thinking about it, and I didn't know where to put them. So I put the sink and the dishwasher there. I always have a sink and a dishwasher in my builds. I feel like the dishwasher helps my Sims a lot. And then I also put some others, like the little mixing kit from Home Chef Hustle, which I don't use it all that often, even in gameplay, but it's a nice, like, decorative item. to just have in the kitchen is what I really like. I was gonna put the pizza oven, but like I don't ever use the pizza oven. And if I'm gonna use anything from the Home Chef Hustle, like inside my kitchen, it's more than likely the stand mixer. So yeah. Now creating the floor plan for this is gonna be a living room down here. And then this up here is gonna be like a dining room, and then that little room over there I haven't touched is gonna be a bathroom. My last couple builds, I don't know what's going on. I've not been putting bathrooms on the first floor. And whenever I go to play in them, I have it like my Sims will have a kid, and then the kid can't go down the stairs until they reach level 2 of movement. And I don't know why I never think of this, but I never do, and I always forget to put a bathroom on the first floor. But I did it in this one. I put a bathroom on the first floor. Also those chairs from Cottage Living are adorable. I wish I had a bigger table. They only have rounded tables that are kind of small from Cottage Living. And I guess to be fair, you're not really building ginormous things with Cottage Living. Like that's not the intent. But, you know, it's whatever. It's The Sims. You got to use some Sims creative reasoning to make it work. These doors also are from Cottage Living, and I really like them. Same with this wallpaper. I really enjoy this wallpaper. I didn't know that it had this blue and like darker grained wood swatch, and I really, really like it, especially the little mushrooms on there and the little rabbit and everything. I think that wallpaper is adorable, and I wish I used it more in like normal gameplay, but I just never do, and I can't believe I never do because it is really cute. So now we're working on this bathroom down here. I don't know what's up with this bathroom, but like it gave me such a vibe when I was building it that it's like low key bougie as hell, and I don't feel like it should fit in this. I don't feel like it should fit in this build at all, but I really like this bathroom. I like that sink. I like the shower. I don't know why I've never like thought about using the different swatches on that base game shower, but I just never do. I don't know. This bathroom just felt bougie to me. It's not bougie, but it just felt bougie, and I felt like it doesn't belong in this house. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I like it, but like it's throwing me off. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It is throwing me off. Either way, this is the dining room, and when I was creating it, I didn't know if I wanted to put a little like nook right there, but I didn't know what else to put there. Like, what else do you put on like this like weird accessory wall? Like, I put a tea station. I put like minor decoration. Like, it's nothing exciting. Nothing exciting. It's like a little like tea nook, if you will. That's kind of what I created it as. I didn't know what to put there. I didn't put a bunch of stuff on the walls. Outside though, now I didn't do a lot of outside like placement necessarily. I kind of did, but not really. I used a lot of vines going up the walls, and by sizing them up and sizing them down and overlapping them and everything like that, just to create more dimension on the building itself. I build a lot of boxes, and that's what this kind of is. So to add some dimension and just to like I think make it look more like a cottage, because right now it just looks like a brand new cottage, and that wasn't the vibe. The vibe was like an older cottage that someone has maybe like fixed up. That was kind of what I was thinking. That's probably a better way to put it. Is like that's how I was thinking of this build. So maybe a family lives here. It is 3 bedrooms. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Granted, they're not the biggest bedrooms, but they're bedrooms. They have what you need in them. Um, like I said, this little tea corner is so cute, though. I like it. I wish I could have made it coffee, but I have found recently that my Sims don't like obsessively make tea like they do coffee. So I've been putting more tea stuff in my build. Also, if you have the for rent pack, they have a tea kettle in there that's amazing, and I actually really like using that over the normal one. But certain things you can't make in that one, like for instance, if you do the wellness like aspiration at all, you have to make detox tea, and you can't inside of the for rent tea kettle. That's just not a possibility. You have to make it in the magic tea brewer, and that's frustrating because I don't like the way the magic tea brewer looks. I think it's kind of ugly, and I wish that it was, a little bit nicer, or I could use it with all of the kettles and not just the one. But I get it, it's for a serving thing. It's just still frustrating. Anyways, we're going back into the build, and I am just decorating stuff. So like I said, this is a living room. I didn't know what to put to like kind of hide that gap between the two wallpaper types. I thought about putting like a beam or something there, and I couldn't settle on one. I did put these little tables though for like knickknacks or like stuff that your Sims collect. You can absolutely put it there to decorate. I didn't put anything on them because I didn't really know what to put on them, and I also wanted to leave it because I was gonna play in this build anyway. I liked this build so much when I finished it that I was like, I'm gonna actually play in this one like for a while. And I am doing that, and it's I have had no problems. I've had issues with some of the other builds, and I've had to go through and like fix things, but this one I have had zero issues at all. I don't know why. I don't know if I just built it differently. Like I have no idea, but I'm having no problems with this one. No one's glitching. They're not walking through walls, which I've had in the past. So like this is really nice. I had a lot of fun building it, but like I also am just shocked that it all worked the first time. If you've ever tried to place things in these little bump out windows, I don't know what they're called. I can't think of the name. But these little windows, you can like custom place things by holding Alt and also pressing the 0 and 9 on your keyboard. It'll move stuff up and down on like a grid. And so I do that a lot for these types of windows. When I do use them, I like to put stuff in the window. The other way that you can do this, it's a little bit more invasive and it doesn't look as good in my opinion, but I did it in one of my Bob's Burgers videos where you create walls that have a bump out like that, and then you just raise the platform in the middle to make it look like a window. You know what I mean? So I've done that, but I really just wanted to use the bump out, and it is easier to place things when you do it that way. When you do it this way, it's a little bit more frustrating. We've moved on to the greenhouse though, and there's 3 doors into this greenhouse, so there's not like a ton of room to plant stuff. Like there is, don't get me wrong. There's 2 full planting spots that have 4 each, so that's 8, 9, 10. So you have 10 spots to plant things in, essentially, out here. In what greenhouse would I create if it didn't have a clear roof? I always do this on my greenhouses. I don't like, I feel like a greenhouse should always have a clear roof. In this game, I don't know about in real life, but in this game it needs to have a clear roof with like some cool pattern on it to make the sunlight reflect in a cool way. It's another way of me like doing a type of lighting that I don't typically do, or it's better to just do that instead of using the saucer lights. There's not even a saucer light in here. The greenhouse haven lights are all that's in here. I think a greenhouse should be lit by the sun. If it's dark, it should be dark. The house is a little bit of a different story, but inside of here, nah. I wanted it to be a greenhouse, and a greenhouse I don't feel like would traditionally have lights unless you're working late at night or dealing with something that's like totally different, but I don't think so. So this is now we're gonna move on to the second floor. This is where the other bathroom is gonna be. It's gonna be in that room that I just made. And then these are gonna be bedrooms. So I put these little saucer lights everywhere. Again, I was gonna go back through and I was gonna replace all the saucer lights with some sort of like better ambient lighting. But just for the vibe, not because I don't think the lighting's good, literally just for the vibe. Like that was the whole point. I don't care about it having to be super lit because I'll just turn my screen brightness up if I have to. So to me, it doesn't really matter. But I use the saucer lights. I wish I would have gone through and replaced them. Maybe I will. No, I don't want to do that. But I thought about it. If I end up doing it, I'll re-upload it. But anyways, I try to keep hardwood throughout the whole house. I like the hardwood. The only issue is that I don't believe that we really got a lot of hardwood except for the one from Cottage Living, and that's kind of upsetting because we didn't get any other flooring from Cottage Living, but we got a lot of wallpaper stuff. I don't mind that, but like at least give me some other swatches. You know what I mean? I was trying to keep this as like a limited pack build. I did. I did. And the whole build itself is under 100K. I thought it was going to be at least 100K, but it's under 100K. I think the little residential, or not the residential, the vacation lot that's here initially, I think it's like 114 or 115K. This one is like 78K, if I remember correctly. 78 to 80. It's around there. So it's expensive, but like it's a 3 bed, 2 bath house with a lot of stuff, honestly. It's got quite a bit of stuff. And yeah, I mean, we're really just finishing the second floor. I don't know what else to really say about the second floor. The second floor is just like the living quarters essentially. There is a little like book nook kit little book nook area upstairs with like a little sitting area that I'll make here in a minute. But here I'm really just looking to make sure all my colors are the same because I realized some of my windows were different and I had to go back through and like change those because I don't know what I was thinking, but like I used a brown swatch instead of the black swatch when everything else was a black swatch. I was gonna do that for the door, but I felt like it blended in with the outside too much because the whole build is like relatively somewhat dark on the outside or more of a cooler tone than the inside is because I wanted the outside to be kind of mysterious and then the inside to be like, oh, people actually live here and they're not weird. That was kind of the idea behind it. Cause like who owns a really dark colored house and isn't like a little bit weird? Like I would love to own a dark colored house because I'm also kind of weird. So it just makes sense to me. This I assumed would just be the master bedroom because it goes out into the little like actual area that they can walk on. When I was building this, I realized I didn't leave a lot of room for activities that I typically have my Sims doing, such as like really programming. There's only one computer in the entire build, and it's the cottage living one. So it's that typewriter computer, which I think is really neat. But having one computer can be an issue if you have like multiple Sims that are trying to do programming or writing. Anything like that can be a challenge. So when I was thinking about it, though, I made that little balcony over there kind of the activity center. These are little like stools, and I really think they're cute, but I didn't know where to put them or really how they work. I've never used them before. I don't know why, because they're adorable, but I put a little end table and the little stools, and then I put this little thing with the little it's not cross stitch. Is it cross stitch? Yeah, cross stitch. And yeah, that way you have some activities for your Sims to do. There is a computer downstairs on the desk in the living room in this build, and then there's a painting easel outside as well as two like relaxation chairs. I forget what they're called, like tanning chairs, I guess. You can see here I was really just trying to find decorative items. I didn't know what to put on the second floor, and I kind of wished I would have made some of the rooms bigger, but I'm glad I didn't because I have a really hard time furnishing bedrooms. I don't like a lot of the like miscellaneous items for the bedrooms. I don't like the way they look. They're not my favorite things, and they're like in weird shapes that I'm not looking for. Maybe I'm just being too specific in my mind about like what I want like with it, but yeah, I'm just not I'm just not here for it all the time. Um, Really, we're kind of like getting close to the end of the build. We're not like fully wrapping up yet because there's still a lot of outside stuff to do. But I can tell you that the inside is mostly done. There's not much else I'm going to be adding to the inside. The one big thing I wanted to do, though, as I've said in my last video, I really wanted to learn how to use terrain paint and like just terrain manipulation a lot more. So in this build, I did mess around with it. I did go through and I added a little stream that goes through the property. I had to do it a couple times to figure out like what was going on, and then I terrain painted the bottom. I do this in all of the little ponds. I've been doing a lot more of these in my personal stuff that I haven't been recording to like try and get an idea for it. That little chicken thing is just a fountain if you've never seen it before. And then I realized that the platform, not the platform, but I guess like the foundation of the house could be seen. And I have already added the water and everything. So I didn't want to go back through and do it again. So I was like, this is a good chance for me to do some improv like decorating to give me more experience in doing so. Cause I'm not the best at it and I'm trying to get better. So that's exactly what you're seeing. I did a ton of just little like rocks and stuff to help hide the border of the actual foundation of the house. And honestly, if I didn't put these here, you probably wouldn't have really noticed it in like normal gameplay because it's not so in your face. It looks like it, but when I was playing in it, I didn't even recognize half the decorations I put there because they weren't even necessary, but it looks good, so I left it. Same with the side of this house, like I just didn't want to leave it blank. I wanted this lot to feel more lively. I wanted it to feel less like blank and like you're just starting out because if you've got 3 beds, 2 baths, like you're not starting with 80K unless you're using cheats, so it's not a beginner home. This is for someone who's been playing. So this was just like the next step for me, I guess, in building is learning how to do this kind of stuff. I like the way it looked. I kind of wish I would have added some more terrain paint maybe, but I love the little grass in this area in Henford on Bagley, so I don't always feel like there's a need to like really change it a ton. I really just like the way the grass looks here. I did change it, but I didn't want to, but it just looked too plain and I had to. So here I'm just adding more stuff to the walls to again make it look like it's been here for a while and not like someone just put it down. The modern aspect really just comes into like the way that the interior like stuff is. So we have all of Home Chef Hustle, which looks like a brand new kitchen. We have, a really good sofa. You have just a bunch of more like even that bathroom that doesn't look like it should be in a cottage is here in this. So the whole idea was just a modern cottage with like maybe I should say a cottage with modern amenities. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Because all the other cottages I've ever built or played in have all just been for the sole purpose of like really going hard in the paint with cottage living. Um, where I'm doing like the off, you can only make food based on what you create on your lot or buy from the supermarket. You have no internet, like you have to use the whatever trash can and the water and everything. Like I'll go hard for that kind of stuff in cottage living. But this is the end of the build. Like I said, I didn't mess with the terrain paint a ton. This is the slow-mo of everything. So we've got the front door. I put a bunch of gnomes under there because I felt like it was too blank, but that's just not a big enough area to put like a sitting area. This is the bougie bathroom. I think that's what I'm just gonna call it. But this is the bougie bathroom. I think it's bougie. Maybe it's not, but to me it is. We got our dining room with our kitchen right next to it. The kitchen is like I said, it looks newly renovated. It looks really nice. Like this is where the modern aspect kind of comes in. Like yes, there are hints that, there's older stuff here, but for the most part it's been updated and that's just the whole idea. So I put a fireplace in because with Harvest Fest, it's kind of, or not Harvest Fest, with like Christmas time in the Sims or Winterfest, it's really fun to have Santa Claus show up and him like walk around and give your Sims gifts, or you could fight him. So I like that idea. The TV is little just because I normally put the really big screen, but they're in a homestead. My stairs got messed up because during one of them I had dragged the wrong thing, like the wrong box or something like that, and it messed it up. So I don't know. I fixed it here, but this is the little greenhouse. I wanted to add more shelving and like there's a ton of stuff that comes with Greenhouse Haven that I really wish I would have like used more of, but to be honest, the room just wasn't big enough for me to do so. Not to mention I wanted to put enough spots for you to be able to like actually use it. We're going to move on to the upstairs. This is a kid's room. That's a toddler bed. You can convert that back into a crib, which is why I put that in here. This is the other bathroom that everyone in the house would use that's upstairs. Basically, there's only two bathrooms. It's just the one downstairs and that one. And they both give off like a similar vibe. This is just a little like office area. In my personal play, I actually deleted one of the desks and bookshelves and put in like the maker because I have someone using the eco lifestyle stuff. You could use knitting in here too if you have the knitting pack. That's another pack I really enjoy. This is like the master bedroom. There's really no master bedroom in this build, but that one would be because it has the porch, the patio, whatever you want to call it, the little deck up top that they can go do stuff. This room is either a guest room or it could be a room for like a teenage sim. It's really up to you. But yeah, that's kind of the whole build. I don't have much else to say about it. I hope you guys liked it. I enjoyed it. And honestly, I've been playing with it a good amount in the last like day or two, and it works great. I have had no issues. I even added a kid in the mix because normally I try not to play with the kiddos, and I added one into the mix and they're not having any weird issues. It's a great build. You guys should definitely go check it out. So that's the build. I've had a lot of fun playing in the build, and I hope you guys do too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. All right, bye everybody.